days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you, you give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.
Dr. Mitchell, hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Good to be with you.
Good to be with you. Byron Lowell Donalds, born October 28, 1978, grew up, born and raised in Brooklyn, y'all. Crown Heights, Brooklyn, one of 3 children, raised by a single mom. He is full of shit. I'm going to say that out my whole mouth. I rarely don't. But when it's appropriate, I'm going to call it.
Holy shit.
Yes, he is full of shit. He was charged with marijuana possession in 1997. Charges were dropped because it's marijuana. It was $150 fine. He pled no contest. And now, all of a sudden, he went to Florida A&M. Did Florida radicalize him? Was it Florida? Or did he realize at some point, I'm just a mediocre black man? But in the Republican Party, I could be a magical Negro. I'm saying something today, and I'm so sick of you raggedy ass, mediocre people walking your ill-fitted, suited ass, dirty drawers self over someplace where they'll accept you instead of being a better version of yourself. You're lazy. You're lazy and you're weak. Okay. And your Bachelor of Science in Marketing, sir, thumbs up, I guess, because you've learned to craft a narrative, as Dr. Caritha would say, that suits the people who want to hear Negroes talk the way you talk, with your smile and your melanemic wife.
Wow. This is the person talking about Jim Crow was better, right?
Yeah, I'm going to read the quote again. So for the people who missed it, I read this quote, and I apologize to the children in the car, but you know what miedo is. You know what the caca is. You know what the shit is. You know what it is. And it's smelly, and it's permeating all of our nostrils and our psyches. It is overcoming. Worms are coming out, of maggots are in it. The flies are dancing. We are in this country right now, and we can't talk about Haiti when we have this going on here. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so he's a vice president contender. I didn't know that he was contending for this. I'm gonna put bets on it. I'm gonna put it out here right now. He will not get the vice president's position, and if he does, child. Anyway, he said Jim Crow reinvigorated. Of this, what he'd like to see. He'd like to see a reinvigoration of the black family. But do you have a black family? 866-80182. I'm asking a question for the people in the back. Do you have, is it a black family? Did you devote yourself to a black family that your mama who raised the 3 of y'all by herself? Is this what you're talking about?
That's a really good question.
He said, you see, during Jim Crow, Smith, cue the music. I'm coming back to it. This is what he said. Byron Donalds. And I want to do it with a Brooklyn accent because that's really your accent, isn't it? You spent for a few years in Florida. Now all of a sudden, you're a Floridian.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So when we were slaves, no, don't do it. Don't do it, Smith. Take it off. Because I can't even stomach myself doing that. It triggers me. I just got triggered just now. He said, you see, during Jim Crow, the black family was together. During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative. Black people have always been conservative minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then Lyndon Johnson, who was then the former Department of Health and Education and Welfare, Lyndon Johnson, you go down that road, and I don't even know what he's saying here. Lyndon Johnson, you go down that road, and now we are where we are. This is incoherent. I know what you're trying to say, but you don't have the words, the acumen, the brain cells, the comportment, the ability to string words together to make cogent sense. And I'm not talking about the cogent church.
This is the reason this is so powerful, that you label so accurately the mediocrity. It's so important because part of what you see him doing is telling a story that actually doesn't have to make sense because it feeds into racism and sexism. So as long as you are aiming for every problem is Black people's fault, that anytime you tell a story that amounts to that or goes along with that, you don't even have to make sense. And that's exactly what this is. Notice how there is no interest on his part in dealing with the problems in white communities, white families, the greed of our white power structure. None of that is worthy of him coming out talking about how we need to get back to something more decent. So yeah, mediocrity, this certainly is an example.
What disturbs me about this, and let me just say that the messaging from this, I won't even call him a Republican Party, because I think it's something deeper going on here. The messaging strikes a chord in a lot of our psyches. Mm-hmm. I talk about growing up in a household. My mother and father, we did eat dinner together. We watched Walter Cronkite at 6 o'clock on CBS in my household. There were games being played. It was nostalgic, right? I played outside until the lights came on in the summertime, and I didn't fear. Had a wonderful childhood. It was beautiful. America was a safe place. It was wonderful. We can all some of us hearken to certain stories, right? Ward and June Cleaver, women knew their place. People had dulcet tones. People dressed to go to the airport. Aren't you tired of seeing people in pajamas and hair bonnets? Mm-hmm. Pull your pants up. I don't want to see your underwear. There's a lot of that. And let me just say, I am somebody that could absolutely lean into that narrative. But I know behind it is something so insidious that it makes me know that you're using this as a weapon, mm-hmm. as a bludgeon, as some sort of cudgel to keep people in their place.
Yes.
You're not having this discussion because you really do care about family values, and you definitely don't care about Black family values, or you'd have made different choices, sir. Mm-hmm. Don't play in our faces. It's right there. Mm-hmm. So what they've been able to do is to show, what's the guy that was in the bathroom tapping on the bathroom stall, Mark something, the congressman, who was out there railing for family values and all of this, but then in the bathroom stall in the men's room, tapping, trying to get a little something in the bathroom, right? No, I'm saying the hypocrisy, the Jimmy Swaggarts. I have sinned, and the tears are pouring down, while you out there preaching every Sunday certain things and you doing something different. Who else? Falwell Jr., mm-hmm. a whole ass sex ring he's got going on. What's his name, Mark?
Well, I think Larry Craig. Is that the name you're looking for here?
I feel like there's a bunch of them. I feel like the guy's
2007 Idaho senator.
Was he in the bathroom tapping? Uh-huh. Was that the tapping? Okay.
Wow.
At the airport.
At the airport bathroom. Y'all doing stuff in the airport like that? Who knew? Mm. Who knew you could get hoochie mama, whatever they're getting? I don't know what they is. Not a mama in it. Hoochie daddy stuff in the bathroom at the airport. Y'all wild as hell. Anyway, I'm just saying it's such a hypocrisy.
It's a hypocrisy because at the end of the day, people who believe in keeping other people in their proper place don't actually judge themselves or the people that they believe should have rights according to behavior. They only judge them based on demographic. So that's why it's so easy to have Black men who get very invested in the idea of a traditional family and women needing to know their place. It's very reminiscent of straight white men, cisgender straight white men who want to put other people in their proper place. So those people, it's never about their own behavior. It's about policing everybody else's.
But for what cause? It's all about power, right?
Power.
We're talking about power. And then Byron Donalds, what have you been promised? Because they set you up, propped you up to be Speaker of the House. And then like Lucy with the football was like, psych, are you serious? Oh, Negro, you could be Vice President. Yes, we're going to promise you that. No. It's not going to happen for you. So two-term congressman out here supporting Trump, showing up to court with the red tie, with the ill-fitted suit, out here talking real crazy about Jim Crow was better for Black people. It's almost like, was it the Ben Carson who said slavery wasn't that bad? Whoa, somebody said that too. That Ben Carson?
Yeah, he was on that train too.
Oh my God. What do we do with this? Because it's almost so ridiculous that you have to comment on it. Like, my inclination is probably to let it slide, But then you give it, you let it breathe, and we need to smother it.
Especially right now, I think the level of urgency has ratcheted up, partly because there are so many information silos and so many deliberate disinformation kinds of things happening that I think you're right. There was a time when I wouldn't check every single thing, but I think it's getting more and more important that we do, especially again, because surviving a pandemic has meant that people who are still here have survived being isolated to varying degrees. And that isolation has had different impacts. And a lot of it has to do with what have you been wallowing in, or dwelling in is a better word. What have you been dwelling in that has made you primed to believe and latch on to certain messages? So I think you're right. Even though it is ridiculous and outlandish, we still have to check it so that there's a counter to the discourse.
And let me maybe recant a little bit, because in his mind, maybe he believes what he's saying. Because the other thing is, if you sit in something long enough, and again, I was right there on the precipice, Dr. Caretha Mitchell, of being one of those magical Negroes in the room. Right there. There's like a cabal of, they call them rabbis in the media, right? People who are going to walk you into certain places. You know, okay. I had my pilot over at CNN and then at MSNBC. I was in the place and then going to all of the events and being invited to the places, and you realize there's a circle. There's a circle, right? And if you're in that circle, it almost obscures your vision or your view of reality, because you start to believe maybe there's something special about me, and then you double down because you get rewarded for the commentary. You get rewarded for the behavior, right? And he's in Congress. He could never be in Congress as a Democrat. From the state of Florida, represent, or even Brooklyn for that matter, because people in Brooklyn aren't having that. Yeah. Okay, 866-801-8255. So let's go to the phones. We're here. It is Wellness Wednesday. I'm going to head over to Thomas in New York from New York. Welcome.
How you doing?
Hey,
I'm listening to your talk show, and you're saying a lot of bad things about Donald.
Yeah, I am. It's not bad. Is it bad things, or am I telling the truth?
Well, some things it's not true.
What's not true? What's not true? So let's we gotta be able to agree on facts, right? What did I say that was not true?
Different opinions, but we can't.
No. What did I say that was not true, Thomas?
You saying you know he supports the Jim Crow era.
No, I read his quote. You know, I read something that came out of his mouth.
Okay, but he's doing the right thing, fighting for the American people, because what they did to Donald Trump was wrong.
What?
All right, these Democrats,
okay, stop.
These Democrats is out here after us.
What? Who's out? Oh, wait, you sound? Do you hear yourself?
Like I hear myself.
Inside your head, do you sound rational? Inside your head,
I sound rational. Absolutely.
To yourself.
Are
there other voices besides your own inside your head?
I got voices. Yes, okay. I got voices all around me.
I figured that. Yeah. No, keep them up. I'm curious.
My point is,
what's your point?
That these Democrats out here after us, like they after Donald Trump.
How?
Okay. Look what they did to the president of the United States.
Biden?
Okay?
Joe Biden?
They railroaded him. Absolutely.
Joe
Biden
and
his administration.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So and where did you get this information? Wrong. Where'd you get this information?
Where you think I get this information?
I have no idea. That's why I'm asking.
I Google stuff. I Google everything.
Google.
Yeah, I Google facts.
That damn. We need to have some sort of maybe boycott or action taken against Google. Google seems to be, even as I'm reading the jury, the people get their news from Google.
Yeah.
This is a problem right now because Thomas is sold out.
You know who was never a problem with? Jeeves.
Jeeves was not a problem.
Never was a problem.
Can we
with
go
Jeeves.
back to asking him? Is Jeeves
I don't even know
around?
if he's operating currently.
Go ask Jeeves. Don't Google. Something is wrong with Google. I actually don't Google at all. I Yahoo. And I know that's probably old school. I Yahoo. I don't Google. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to confess today. I do not Google. I Yahoo. I don't trust Google. I just don't. But Thomas, listen, before I let go, how did you find the channel? Do you listen to the show, An Urban View, or you just call?
I listen to I listen to the show every day.
Okay, so you're not astray.
You and Clay.
So you in, boy. You be here. So what? So why are you here every day listening to this amazing commentary?
Well, I'm off of work right now, so I turn to the channel, study and listen to WBLS.
Okay.
I like to hear.
All right.
I like to hear good talk, good history, and what's going on right now.
You just don't. You just don't agree that Trump. You think Trump was railroaded, and the Democrats and Byron Donalds is dope and amazing, and he's not full of.
Because this is supposed to be a federal situation, not a state situation.
Okay, Thomas, you are ill-informed, so I will say that. I love you, but you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that's not okay today. You got to do better, bro. You got to do better and stay off Google. Like, read a book.
My days are cooler, nights are warmer, and I put the blame on you. Time moves slow, but my heart beats faster. When these eyes are looking right at you, right at you. You give me something to believe in, just what I needed. You're the closest.